as you can see a little bit by my gray hair, was working on AI back in the 1990s. Neural networks were relatively new then, genetic algorithms, fuzzy logic, and other technology streams like that. And we were really trying to automate things, particularly satellite communications, robotics, and wonderful things like that. Never did we imagine at that time, well, we did imagine it, but we didn't necessarily know how it would happen and how some of the new technologies like transformers and the like would change how we could execute AI. And so now we're very, very close to that time. Back then, coding was like an arcane art. If you knew how to code, if you knew Lisp or Pascal or Fortran or any of these old languages that people use, and they were challenging to learn. It was a very rarefied field, and now we're playing in a very different environment, a very, very different environment. And that's what we want to talk about today. So just very briefly by introduction, my name is Joseph Spence. I'm co-founder, chief investment officer, and in a relatively still early stage company, you wear a lot of hats. But of this company called NativelyAI. And we do a number of things that I think are incredibly exciting in the times that we live in right now, and of which we're very happy to partner with a wonderful company like Vultr in order to execute. So one, and this is where we started our base, we run a very large community, a community of about 250 hardcore devs across 100 plus countries. We expect that number will reach 1 million actually before the end of this year. And we are going very hard toward this. We started there. We run these design sprints. We help companies test their software. We get our people to try to break them, to push them to the limits, find massive numbers of alternative and new use cases for these. We help them hire. We help them design and become even better products. And we enjoyed that work. Clearly, with all that data, we began to think about what is the tooling that can be used to accelerate the way our people create. And so we began to build those tools, and that's part of what we're doing today. And then we began to build in services into this product, like distributed compute and other things that which we'll be working on with Vultr. So today, the main Vultr is a software piece. Well, we call it software here, but AI native, autonomous software. Because we're getting into this new world where software isn't a static thing. It's alive, it's a living thing. And that's the new context. So here, let's dig in a little bit. I just gave the context, that's who I am. Former engineer, recovering one, but still an engineer, love to build. And then I got into finance ultimately. So here, and building companies. So, we know what's happening today. You have lots of coders, Claude Code, and many others that can generate code at the drop of a hat. Early on, it was still a little bit rough, and it still is a little bit rough. It still has some smooth spots to clear out, right? But yet, we're getting someplace very beautiful and unique, where someone who is a subject matter expert in a particular area, they can at minimum prototype and create a very strong MVP themselves. Previously, in organizations of which I've had the responsibility of working in a number of them and leading software and AI development there was always this gap between, you have the coders who didn't necessarily have subject matter expertise, but they could design and code, and then you have the people who actually knew what was going on. And the hope was, if you have a good multi-person team, multidisciplinary team, that you can get a very good product. Nowadays, we're entering a world where anyone can code. And the differentiation, though, then comes down to what's the quality of the coding product that they're using, how they want to use it, and what's the compute behind it. We're very fastly approaching this world. And so what we've done as part of our AI tooling is we've taken and understood this context. As we said here, for 20 years, code was the architecture. Now it's fluid. And we'll get into what exactly we mean by that. It's less valuable nowadays to just be a pure coder. It's more valuable to focus more on architecture. In fact, let me jump back here before I jump in. So it was architecture, pardon me, it's more fluid now. The point is, at any given moment, the design cycles around code have shortened. So even those that are experienced coders or they're not, you can design code and redesign code, improve your app at the speed of thought nearly. So if building code isn't the thing that's really important now because it's a ubiquitous skill, it's going to become ubiquitous. What's really important? You can design your prototype, but okay, now you still have the business problem. Who's using it? What's its exposure? And then how are you going to monetize it? These still exist. You can get ideas from AI, of course, some good ones, but these still exist now once you're actually able to build your systems. So here what we've done in appreciating this, from day one in our approach, we've built in exposure, we've built in monetization as an embedded part of our process and our products. So appreciate this statement, build like the system is alive. What does something like that mean? Now you can do your code and it's not static. It literally at the moment of a prompt from you and or an experience from a client or whatever rules or constraints that you create, it can morph and change. So it is mimicking a living thing that can grow and change over time and evolve very quickly, determined by the constraints that we lay out to fit whatever the circumstance is. That's the world we are entering and what's going to become dominant. So today when we think about the value of a developer, is not competing with AI. It is learning how to orchestrate AI at all the different levels and the different types of tools that you use to create some product that you like. You are the one setting up the design constraints as makes sense. And now in thinking about it as a living thing, evolving thing, you own the life cycle. And this can be done by ever smaller teams. So let's talk about how we approach this. As an organization, as I mentioned, we started building out communities, hackers, hardcore developers, and enthusiasts, let's say. We've developed across our system over 10,000 apps, thousands deployed into production, hundreds have gone on to raise capital, and teams now are shipping in days, not in months. We started this 3 years ago at the beginning of the AI curve, very small hackathon company. Since then, we've done over 400 hacks. Like I said, we now have 250,000 builders and we're over 100 plus countries, and we do these events globally. All over Europe, all over the Middle East, all over the Americas. Again, there's some examples of where we've gone. We've done some wonderful things in Paris, where I call home, here at the Louvre, a fantastic event, 15,000 attendees. And so, with this point, let's just jump right in and show you a demonstration of the product building. We had a little bit of challenge with how the sound was developing, but pay no mind. So this is our product builder that I mentioned to you that developed all these products. On the surface, it looks like a vibe coder. And of course, this interface is like that. It looks in many ways behaves like a vibe coder. The exception here is that it is fully enterprise ready. Security is packaged. You can fully deploy, and it's an end-to-end system. So you have your context window. Here you can do your prompts. We've been using this exclusively internally to our events. One of the things it does is it allows you to switch between any model that's out there, so anyone that works best, and it'll actually help you determine which one works best for you, whether that's Claude or OpenAI or any of the other models, small or large, which you have access to. We have access to hundreds here as a model garden. And it'll help you navigate which ones are best for you for your particular application. And you can run and test them and see which ones perform the best as well. And so look, what this here is, you'll see, is just, it's a build demonstration. Alrighty. So this one here was the build out of a deck. You can do decks, you can do software, you can do business plans, you can do a range of different things on our platform. So, again, Joseph Spence, pleasure to answer any questions if there are any here.
All right, let's give a big round of applause for Joseph here at NativelyAI.
Thank you very much.
Are there any questions? If not, we'll